Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Three blind mice. Three blind mice, three blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife, who cut off their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a sight in your life as three blind mice? The Ugly Duckling. Once there was a proud and happy duck. I have 7 beautiful eggs, and soon I will have 7 beautiful ducklings, she told her friends on the river bank. A while later, she heard a crack. One beautiful duckling popped her little head out of a shell, and then another, and another, until there were 6 beautiful little ducklings drying their fluffy yellow wings in the spring air. Just one egg left, quacked Mother Duck, and it's a big one. For a while, nothing happened, and then, at last, the big egg began to hatch. Tap, 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 out came a beak. Crack, 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 out popped a head. Crunch, 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 out came the last duckling. Oh my, gasped the Mother Duck. Isn't he different? The last little duckling did look strange. He was bigger than the other ducklings, and he didn't have such lovely yellow feathers. Well, that's okay, said Mother Duck. You may look different, but you're special to me. When Mother Duck took her little ducklings for a swim, each one landed in the river with a little plop, but the Ugly Duckling fell over his big feet and landed in the water with a big splash. The other ducklings laughed at their clumsy brother. Hush now, little chicks, said Mother Duck. Stick together and stay behind me. Back at the nest, the ducklings practiced their little quacking. Quack, quack, quackity quack, said the ducklings, repeating after Mother Duck. Honk, honk, called the Ugly Duckling. All the other ducklings all quacked with laughter, and the Ugly Duckling hung his head in shame. I'll never fit in, he thought sadly. The next day, Mother Duck took her little ones out for another swim. The little duckling stayed close to her while the Ugly Duckling swam alone. What kind of bird are you? Asked some geese, who had landed in the river nearby. I'm a duckling, he replied. My family's left me all alone. Well, the geese felt sorry for the Ugly Duckling and asked him to go with them. But the Ugly Duckling was too afraid to leave his river, so he stayed put. When Mother Duck wasn't looking, the other ducklings teased their ugly brother. Look at his dull gray feathers, said one of his sisters unkindly, admiring her own reflection in the water. Mine are so much prettier. The Ugly Duckling swam away and looked at his reflection. I don't look the same as them, he thought sadly. So he swam down the river, and he didn't stop until he reached a place that he'd never seen before. I'll stay here, he decided. Summer turned to fall. The sky became cloudy, and the river was murky. But still the Ugly Duckling swam, alone in his quiet part of the river. Snow fell heavily that winter, and the Ugly Duckling was cold and lonely. The river was frozen solid. At least I can't see my ugly reflection anymore, he thought. Spring arrived at last, and the ice thawed, some magnificent white ducks arrived on the river and swam toward the ugly duckling. "You're very big ducks," he said nervously. "We're not ducks," laughed the elegant creatures. "We're swans, just like you." Puzzled, the ugly duckling looked at his reflection in the river and was surprised to see beautiful white feathers and an elegant long neck. "Is that really me?" he asked. "Well, of course," they told him. "You're a truly handsome swan." The handsome young swan joined his new friends and glided gracefully back up the river with them. When he swam past a family of ducks, Mother Duck recognized her ugly duckling right away. "I always knew he was special," she said. And the beautiful young swan swam down the river proudly, ruffling his spectacular white feathers and holding his elegant head high.